Can you get approved for a home loan with bad credit? Well, I'm here to tell you it is possible, and I'll be going over exactly how you can get that home loan and even shop around for the best interest rates available. I see a lot of people making the same mistakes when they have bad credit and first go looking for a mortgage lender. So I'm going to help you understand what those mistakes are, how you can avoid them, and the right way to go about getting a home loan with bad credit. Now, there are a few tricks to this whole process, so I'll be walking you through it as if I was essentially doing it myself. Let's start by covering what your lender will be looking for when deciding on giving you your home loan. Then we can talk about your personal action plan. And that plan is important to have in place before you go on to apply for your home loan. And I'll also be covering the 2 best secrets on how to buy a house with bad credit. Now, I know you likely can't have this process take forever. Most of you are going to be working on a timeline. So I'll be sharing how you can get most, if not all of this done in just a few weeks. And I'll stress, if you want this done fast, follow the steps I'll be showing you. Okay, to start, I spent a ton of time organizing the steps and writing out the instructions you'll need. Yes, I actually wrote out the steps for you in the description. So if you haven't yet, you may want to scroll down and just open up the description section below so it's easier for you to follow along with the video. And as always, go ahead and smash that like button. Tapping that like button is free, just like this video is free, and it really helps this video reach other people that need it. For those of you who know me, I've really been working hard to create a community here where we help each other out. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to put them in the comments section. I like to call it our community section. I try really hard to answer them personally, and we also have some really incredible subscribers that will help answer your questions as well. Okay, so let's get into talking about these home loans and how you can get that mortgage. Buying a home is probably the largest purchase you'll ever make. It's the largest purchase for most people, and so lenders really want to have an idea of your finances before offering you that large sum of money. Obviously, bad credit can be a big obstacle to being approved, but don't buy into people telling you that you can't be approved with bad credit, okay? I see too many people give up without even trying. Sometimes you can be your own worst enemy when it comes to getting things that you want or that you've earned. So just remember that. There's a good chance you may already qualify. So the first thing that you need to do is actually have an idea of what is happening with your personal credit and why it's so bad. And you can go and download all 3 of your credit reports by going to annualcreditreport.com. Now remember that when they show you your credit reports on the site, that you need to download them because they don't keep them on there forever, okay? And after you download the credit reports, you can then go through and see what's really hurting your credit. So that being said, there's lots of things about personal credit that can be fixed pretty easily, and these should be done for anyone trying to get a mortgage loan, even if they have good credit. One of these things is your utilization rate, and I'll explain what that is. Let's say you have a credit limit of $15,000 between all of your credit cards. Well, your utilization rate is the amount of that credit that you keep on your balance. So maybe you've used $10,000 of that $15,000 credit limit. One of the easiest and fastest ways of getting your credit score to shoot up is to pay this off and keep it low until you get your mortgage loan. It doesn't have to be low forever. It just needs to be low for that month or two while you're getting that loan processed. From the time you pay off your credit card balance, in just a matter of weeks, you could see your score jump up 70 points, if not more. It just depends how much of a balance you're carrying compared to your limit. The other thing you should do is look at how many hard inquiries you have on your credit report. And if you have less than 3, consider applying for a credit card that has a high credit limit. Having a higher credit limit will improve your credit score, often by another 20 to 50 points. Now, you want to make sure you're likely to get approved for that card before you apply. You can really check on this by talking with a credit card representative over the phone before you apply. Let them know what your credit score is and give them a general summary of what's happening on your credit report, and then get their opinion if you'll be accepted for the card before you apply. The other easy thing you can do to improve your credit is to become an authorized user on a credit card for a family member or a friend. Now, this credit card needs to have really good payment history for you to get the benefits. This can be done with a simple phone call by your family member to the credit card company. You get placed as an authorized user, but you don't ever need to get access to their credit card. You just get the benefits of their credit card history. Okay, I want to include a few simple things you could do to really improve your credit score before applying for a mortgage, but this video is really about getting a mortgage when you have bad credit. And I've got some great tricks for you. Now, getting a mortgage loan has as much to do with who you ask as who is asking. And the biggest mistake I see people making is they are going to the big banks first to try and get a mortgage. Well, the big banks are the worst place to try and get a mortgage if you have bad credit. And even worse is they are probably running a hard inquiry to see if you qualify, which hurts your credit even more. So I'm here to tell you there's a better place to start when shopping around for a mortgage, and that's to go directly to a mortgage broker or a mortgage bank. That's the bank that does mortgages. To give you an idea, a mortgage broker will generally have relationships with dozens, if not hundreds of banks. So if you have a credit score of, say, 600, and they don't know of one in their state, they may have a bank in some other part of the country that will give that mortgage to you. So you can see the benefit of working with a mortgage broker. There's just a ton of benefits for someone that has bad credit. The other great thing is mortgage brokers work with people trying to get lending all day, every day. So they will likely know what you need to qualify. Maybe you're close to qualifying, and if you show them your credit report, they might know exactly what you can do to get it up those few extra points you need to get that mortgage you're wanting. And you have to remember that these mortgage brokers, they make their money off of you getting your loan. So their motivation to help you, spend their time working to get you qualified is much higher than your local big bank. So with going directly to a mortgage bank, they will usually have a lot more lending options than your big banks, especially for those with bad credit. But the mortgage broker will work with a ton of mortgage banks, and he's the one that can really shop around different mortgage banks to not only make sure you get approved for a loan, but also make sure you get the best interest rates on your loan. That's the other big thing, is it's not just about being approved. It's also about getting a good interest rate and good loan terms. And as always, if you have any questions about finding a good mortgage broker, I'm here for you. I'll include any additional information for you in the description. If you're familiar with my videos, I usually try and elaborate a bit and provide you the resources you need in my description section. Now, I have another trick for you that lets you buy a house and take on a mortgage without ever even dealing with a bank. This is probably the best kept secret for getting a house when you have bad credit. And that's to buy a house on a deal called subject to a mortgage, or called subject to. A subject to the mortgage deal is when you buy a house from the seller, taking over the deed of the house and taking over the mortgage payments, but their name remains on the existing mortgage. I'll say that again. You buy the house and get your name on the deed. Their name remains on the mortgage, but you take over the mortgage payments. This is actually a great way to buy a house because it keeps the banks from really getting involved at all. It comes down to you and your ability to make the payments on the home. Now, not everyone is going to sell you their house this way, so to find this type of deal can take some negotiating. And it's usually people that really need to get rid of their house quickly that will agree to this type of deal. So if someone is close to a foreclosure and they don't have time to find a qualified buyer, this is a good way to have someone take over their payments without having to work with the banks. There are some issues with this type of deal, though. A seller's mortgage contract will usually have a due on sale clause, meaning if the title changes owners, the bank can make the full amount of the mortgage loan due in 30 days. Now, this doesn't happen very often. In fact, if you speak with property investors who use this strategy pretty regularly, almost none of them have ever had a bank exercise this due on sale clause. So while I'll warn you about it, I want you to know it's probably not likely to happen. I've actually only ever heard of one person ever receiving a due on sale clause letter after making this type of deal. And they just simply called the bank and explained the last owner couldn't make the payments, and they overtook the payments, and they'd be making the payments for the mortgage there on out. And that was it. The bank told them, okay, our system sends out those letters automatically when we see a title transfer, but yeah, that won't be a problem. I do really like this method because it essentially keeps the banks out of the whole process. I think most people don't like dealing with banks. Working with a mortgage broker is a great way to at least keep one degree of separation from working with the banks directly, and will likely result in more mortgage options and better interest rates. And also, doing the subject to deal will let you work directly with the seller. It's kind of exciting to know there are other options besides the big banks out there. And that's the kind of information I really enjoy sharing with you. I'm very much one of those people where if I don't like what a bank is offering me, I'll make sure to find a different option. And that's the type of value I really try to bring to you. If you haven't yet, become an OG and click the subscribe button. Our community here at the Income Series has really been growing pretty fast, And that's as new viewers realize we are all here to help each other out. If you have any questions, you can put them down in the comments section. I'm always trying to answer as many questions as I can get to. And we also have some other awesome commenters that are pretty knowledgeable that can help you out. If you have other questions about fixing your credit and preparing for a mortgage, I've made a ton of videos on this, so go check them out. And you guys have a great day.